the incomparable Jane Velez-Mitchell. So I was so surprised when I was on.
There we go.
I was on the Guardian website and I saw an ad for Unchained TV. So what?
Yeah. Yes, sirree. So hopefully you'll stay with us, Dr. Rao. I want to continue the conversation. We're huge fans of Robert Grillo, by the way, and just had him on talking about the Farm Bill, playing some of the clips of him disrupting some of the hearings. And we're going to have him on again talking about the bird flu, which is so terrifying. And so, I was thinking what to talk about this time, because you've graciously always given me the opportunity to talk about Unchained TV, which I will. But I started thinking about Vegan World 2026. And you, Dr. Rao, changed my life when I was at the Rowdy Girl Sanctuary in Texas, and this man walks onto the podium. Everybody's just having a big party, so I don't know how many people were paying attention to you, but I was going live, and you said, we are going to create a vegan world. We know why we have to do it. We just have to figure out how we do it. And we need to do it by 2026. And that blew my mind. I was like, wow, finally somebody articulating what we want to do. We want to create a vegan world and give us a deadline. We want to do it by 2026. And what we need to figure out is how. So that is really one of the inspirations behind our nonprofit media network, because we immediately started doing a documentary on you. And I want to share my screen and play a clip. I don't know if this is 2018. This is one of either the earliest convergence or the second convergence when they were happening in person in Arizona. But let's play a clip and then discuss on the other side, because I'm really interested in sort of getting a progress report. We're less than a year and a half from 2026. Where are we? So let me do this and share and just ask to share, install the Zoom audio device. Please restart your audio sharing application. Oh, for crying out loud. I'll tell you what, can you see that? You can't hear it.
Yeah, we can see it.
But you can't hear it, unfortunately. Let's play a second and see if you can hear it. No?
Friends, one of the regrets was that they didn't go vegan sooner.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Okay, you can hear it. Perfect. Okay, this is part from Countdown to Year Zero.
Greenhouse gases and climate change. It uses a lot of water. In addition to all of that, the animals produce methane gas as a byproduct of digestion, and that is a very vicious greenhouse gas. Finally, these creatures that are given antibiotics just to keep them alive, not necessarily because they're sick, and the bacteria are building up resistance. And as we destroy the forests and other habitats, it means that we are actually stealing the future of our children, because we are part of the natural world. We need the natural world, and we're destroying it so fast. Unless we all get together now, it will be too late.
Wherever you are on this journey, I hope that I can help you through the Kind Diet or the Kind Mama in terms of just our best way to get everyone on board is to be our most vibrant, healthy selves and to feel our best. We're walking billboards, right? If you feel good and you look good, people want to know what you're up to, right? And so being that your healthiest version of yourself is the way forward. And if you can, hopefully with the Kind Diet, I can help you to just get more in the superhero zone so you feel your best. And depending on anywhere you are, I welcome you. If you eat meat all the time and you just start eating less of it, we are so grateful for that choice. Not only the animals are grateful for that choice, your body is grateful for that choice. The earth is grateful for that choice. And obviously the people who are starting all over the world. We have 10 years to turn it around. I don't know how aware everyone is of what a serious situation climate change is. So every time you eat a plant-based meal, you can pat yourself on the back. It's the most powerful thing you can do.
You know, when you're vegan, one thing that I found was that all my vegan friends, one of their regrets was that they didn't go vegan sooner. And for me, my regret as an activist is that I didn't become active sooner. And I see a lot of heads nodding. I really invite you to make a commitment in your life to not just be vegan and be like, I'm not going to take part in the system, but I'm going to use my life, I'm going to use my time and energy to actually make a difference, because that will make a difference. And let me tell you that by being involved in the community, I'm 100% convinced that we will see a vegan world within our lifetime.
So we are here to start the ball rolling for a vegan world by 2026. You know why we are doing this? I don't have to go through the negative side of this at all. We have to do this because we are not a monumentally stupid species. That's right.
Clearly, the system of normalized violence is going to end, whether we like it or not. It's going to end because the earth is saying it's no more.
This is PCH at 5 p.m. tonight. It's just unbelievable. I mean, the trees are going up in flames. So let me stop it right there. I want to stop my share. I'm glad everybody could hear it. You had one person saying 10 years, then Ryuji in our lifetime. You're saying 2026. We're less than a year and a half away from 2026. Where are we? Because that's the question I keep asking myself. And I thought this is a great opportunity to get your thoughts on that. Yeah. No, I mean, really good question, Jane. And obviously, it's on my mind all the time. You know, where are we? But the way I see it, it actually is accelerating faster than I thought. Climate change is accelerating faster than I thought. Climate change. Okay. And because we've had, I think every month since May of 2023 has been the hottest month ever for that month. And in July 21st, when President Biden announced that he's not running for re-election, was the hottest day in recorded history ever. Meaning, you know, if you look at the average temperature of the earth, it's never been as hot as that ever since we started measuring with thermometers. So it is escalating. And we know it's escalating. And I'm trying to tell people, look, if you sit around and do nothing, you're basically letting everybody roast around you. But then, you know, I hear from psychologists saying, don't use fear. It doesn't work. But, you know, I think back to the fire in my home. You know, when I had a fire in my home, I was making coffee at that time. And I was about to have breakfast, making coffee. I suddenly stopped making coffee. Right? Once I realized that there was a fire in my home. And I completely changed my routine. It didn't take me that long to change my routines and to just grab my kids and run out, you know, hit the alarm and run out. Right? And I say that we are in a very similar situation on Earth. I don't know when people will realize that they're being roasted. That's what I want to jump in and ask you. Yeah. When I said, where are we? I meant with Vegan World 2026. Right. We've got a year and a half. Right. I hate to put you on the spot, but you were the one who said 2026. Right. So we're less than a year and a half. Where are we? Like, I've got a few videos I want to play that are positives and negatives, but are we going? I mean, it sounds crazy to even ask. Yeah. No, it's a good question. You know, I mean, compared to other projects that I worked on, where I could map it out and say, to get there, I have to do this and this and this, and then we'll get there, right? And we have a team of people working on making those intermediate milestones. Now, this is a project. It's a complete system transformation. It's a complete culture transformation. It's a spiritual transformation. I mean, it is. I look at the founding mothers and what the founding mothers are asking for. Which, by the way, I want to ask Unchained TV to join the founding mothers. I'm going to send the link to all the women-run organizations that I know. Ask them to join the founding mothers because it's a movement of movements that they're trying to create. And what they're saying is, I would have, I prefer that to the grandmothers. I have nothing against the grandmothers, but I'm not a grandmother. No. But even the grandmothers, I'm just saying anyone who's at that age. I'm making a bad joke. Yeah. Continue on.
No, because ultimately it's triggering a nonlinear transformation. It's very hard to know how to map it out, right? It's like a dam bursting. I don't know when the dam will burst. Now, I was really encouraged when Jim Sands this morning came and told me that 5 years ago, when you came and spoke at our church, people are not talking about animal agriculture at all. They're only talking about fossil fuels. But now he says that everybody's talking about it at least in his church. They're talking about it. And I know that the Unitarians are now asking me to come and speak. So I spoke at their church in June. And
well, that's a positive development.
Right.
And I think anybody who hears you speak has to be transformed, because it was a life-changing experience to hear you state our goal. I think it was the women who stopped the troubles in Northern Ireland who said, until you actually can articulate and envision what you want, you can't ever achieve it.
Mhm.
And they ultimately won the Nobel Peace Prize because they were the ones who said, we're going to stop this. And of course, everybody laughed at them and said, what, are you crazy? You're never going to stop this.
Right.
And they did, to a large degree, completely stop it. But I was struck by how you can never achieve a goal unless you have the courage to articulate it and actually visualize it.
Right.
If you can't even visualize it and say it out loud, how the hell are you going to achieve it?
Right.
So you said there's positive developments. I want to share my screen again and play some positives, some negatives to help us try to assess where are we. So here we go. I'm going to share this one. And yeah.
So what if we got people who are genetically the same?
Just like us.
I was scared to death, to tell you the truth, of what was going to happen, because we didn't know.
Twins share the same DNA, so we get to see if it's about your greens, not your genes.
And twins were biologically younger. They were no longer identical because they had, their DNA was changing. And that was, shocking to everyone. When you have the data, they signal that's so clear, like you want to long, you want to have, live without chronic disease. A vegan diet's the way to go.
Hi there.
And I have to give a shout out.
Guests coming up in the pipeline, so do please subscribe so you don't miss out. Now back to the show.
That is Plant CEO. He's one of our new shows, and we're very proud to have him. We keep adding new people who are coming onto our nonprofit streaming network, the world's only vegan streaming network, completely free streaming network, and that's Anant Joshi, who is interviewing a lot of these high-profile people, and we are showing those interviews. But that was definitely a breakthrough moment where you have this hit Netflix show. And, one of the reasons I started on Shane TV is I want every filmmaker to end up on Netflix. Unfortunately, it's only a tiny, 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 tiny percentage of some real heavy hitters who actually have their shows end up on Netflix. So for all the others, we are available. And also for shows that used to be on Netflix and are no longer. So there's quite a few documentaries that have had their run on Netflix, and then they're not really being shown anywhere, and we are able to show those. But that is a very, very positive development where a global audience is seeing that,
Right.
My gosh, he didn't even know that he was going to get this great answer, and he did. Is that the kind of thing that could really be the game changer?
Yeah, it is building up. It's building up. For one thing I didn't tell you is that I was surprised when a Bollywood director contacted me and said he wants to make a movie out of the Pinky Promise book. I was like, what?
Wow.
Now, someone that I know gave him the book, and he read it, and he said, yeah, this is going to be my next project. And so he's now creating a pre-story and a post-story around the book so that it becomes a watchable movie, right?
Wow.
And who knows, that may be the thing that tips the scale in India. I really think that this is a nonlinear transformation, because you're looking for a new system around peace, built around peace, right? Because we have a system built around war, and endless war, actually. So it's always about, the next struggle. And so we create everything in opposition to each other in the system. So I say we have to create a new system. And this new system has to be built around peace. And this is why I support movements like the Founding Mothers movement, because they are saying we are going to bang a pot as long as the men are still conducting wars. Maybe that'll disrupt the men who are doing it. Maybe now that, who knows, maybe if Kamala Harris becomes the president, the first woman president, the first woman leader of the world, because the American president happens to be the leader of the world, has so much power because they're running, wars in multiple countries at the same time. What if she decides, no, I'm not going to sign off on a kill list every day. I'm not going to sign off on wars all the time, Who knows what will change? I have faith that nature is running through us, is working through us. And we just have to take every opportunity that comes our way and keep at it. Never give up.
Well, I'd like to be kumbaya,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, veganism has been under attack. I want to play another Unchained TV video, and we're going to talk about some unpleasant aspects here. I believe this is it. And oh, please, starting up again, this thing. Try to share this. It's not letting me, but hold on 1 second. Oh, your password to allow this, maybe this. Is this my password or my Zoom password? Well, let me see if I can just get this going. Despite that, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to try it. You can't see. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Veganism under attack. Yeah.
Is it time to call out veganism for what it actually is? An eating disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Is it even healthy at all? Nobody wanted a vegan candy bar. Vegans already have an option, one thing, it's called sadness. There's a lot of healthy user bias in vegan and vegetarian diet surveys.
You've been lied to.
In no way does going vegan necessitate a healthier diet.
It is designed to represent a threat to agriculture as we know it.
I think you're a hypocrite. A lot of vegans I've met.
Welcome to Food Fight. First of all, I would like. All right. So we had that. We did a whole big discussion at the Soho House in WeHo with some vegan leaders and sort of deconstructed this attack. But the long and short of it is that when Beyond Meat was the most successful IPO since the 2008 financial crisis, it sent the meat industry into a panic, and they started coming up with their response. And according to The Guardian, they have a war room that is massive in Denver, Colorado, where they have 24/7 sending out negative stuff about veganism, particularly alternative proteins like the Beyond Burger. I'm going to hopefully play a clip of that in a second. And as always, I urge people, do not repeat meat industry talking points. If you don't want to eat a Beyond Meat burger, don't eat it, but don't go around trashing it. That's what they pay. That's what they pay these carnivore social media influencers to do. They even have a masters of beef advocacy. So please don't do that, because we're just playing right into the opposition's hands. But you saw some of those clips. It's intensified in the last year and a half. And it's concerning. I mean,
right.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Does that affect your timeline?
No, it is in one way I'm encouraged when I see things like that, because that means that the industry is now waking up and that we are serious now, right? They're taking it seriously. When they attacked the soybeans, and tried to make it look like soybeans are not good for you, I say, well, that means that, if the industry is spending so much resources attacking a bean, I say you can be absolutely sure that it's great for you. It's the exact opposite of what they're saying. Yeah, because that's why they're scared of soy. When they attack something, they know that that's what's going to kill them, and they're trying to, make that look bad.
And they created something called Soy Boy,
Yeah.
where they accuse men of being effeminate if they're consuming soy, when of course the opposite, not to get too X-rated, but a plant-based diet reduces erectile dysfunction. Continue on.
Right. So in a way, it's encouraging that they are attacking us. If they ignore you, then you're not big enough. If they attack you, then you're big enough. You're getting to be threatening to them. Okay, so.
But I have to ask you a provocative question. If you take these attacks, which unfortunately, like I say, a lot of people, I do get infuriated when I hear people who are vegans repeating these points, as if everybody who's eating at Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Carl's Jr., Burger King is suddenly going to start eating a whole food plant-based diet tomorrow because a miracle occurs. It's not going to happen.
Right.
That's not how it goes. So these vegan burgers are obviously so much healthier. Processed meat is officially a carcinogen.
Right.
And red meat is a likely carcinogen. So when you take that, though, these campaigns, and you add the subsidies, and then you add all the commercials, because when I'm on the computer and I'm getting hit with commercials like fast food. I always click and say inappropriate, stop that ad, inappropriate, which I would urge everybody to do. But I mean, it seems like David and Goliath battle.
Right. Yeah. So David and Goliath battle, and it's also a battle for the well-being of our children. They're literally targeting our children and making them eat food that's bad for them so that they grow up to be diabetes patients and cancer patients, because they want a steady influx of more and more patients for their sickening industries, right? So I say that as parents and as grandparents, I especially am incensed when I discover, again, all this happened over the last 30 years, right? It took us, we have been unraveling this. Until then, we didn't even know that we were being lied to. We didn't even know we had chains on. Conspiracy opened people's minds. What the hell opened people's minds? Now we are saying, wait a minute, they are actually deliberately lying to our children and making them eat food that makes them sick. What are you going to do about it? Do we just sit back and say that's the way things are? Or do we go and take action? And that's why, people like Liz, who go out there and actually fight for her grandson, who, to me, she inspires me when someone is able to do that, right? And we are in a transformative period in human history where things are happening faster and faster and faster. And I say it's going to reach a crescendo. Don't expect things to slow down. It's going to reach a crescendo and the entire thing is going to collapse. You see, imagine what Mikhail Gorbachev did in the Soviet Union, right? Soviet Union was very powerful. And then suddenly he said, look, this is completely unsustainable and we got to stop. That's what's happening to Western civilization today. Okay? It's the same situation as the Soviet Union collapsing. You don't know when the wall is going to come down, the Berlin Wall. When is it going to trigger this complete transformation? Because we have to organize around peace. We have to organize around making sure that our kids get healthy food. That's not how we are organized today. We are organized around letting corporations put candy at eye level in every supermarket and con our kids into eating bad food. We are letting it happen to our children. When will we wake up and say, that's not the way we need to organize society? So it's about reorganizing society around a different way. That's what I mean by a vegan world, right? That we need to reorganize around that. Yeah.
And I couldn't agree with you more. We want to reorganize society, but is it getting reorganized? When we did our documentary about you, Countdown to Year Zero, which is Vegan World 2026, you said, we will achieve this because we're not a monumentally stupid species.
Right.
Sometimes I wonder, but people who are experiencing firsthand the impact of climate change are still in complete and utter denial and saying, oh, there's always been hot days. Just talked to somebody yesterday who said he couldn't live in Arizona, and I know that's where you live.
Right.
And he said he had to move because he literally could not handle the heat. It was just debilitating. Okay, so let's just play another clip and talk a little bit about, the attempts of the vegan movement to respond to the highly funded campaign by the meat industry and associated industries to debilitate the vegan sector.
Yeah.
Go. Share, hold on, share sound. And we're going to share that. I just got to keep doing this and see if it will just do it aside from this particular password that it's asking for, which it's never asked for before. Lovely. I'm just going to share it again. Share it again. Okay, we're going to do that. Lovely. Okay. So now it's spinning. But just to, while we're waiting for this, hopefully to clear up, this is Beyond Meat, and it's the
next great global.
Can you see it?
And
no, we don't see it.
Okay.
Hope in my prayer every day for Beyond Meat is that we help more life today than we did yesterday. And we'll
We can hear it.
There it is. Can you see it now?
My life, I mean, human health, I mean, animals, I mean, this earth. There's so much that we can do by taking protein directly from plants versus running plants to an animal. And we're just getting started.
It caramelizes and browns in a pan, just like animal beef. It's like gonna blow your mind.
We're here outside the world headquarters of Beyond Meat, the most innovative and important companies on the planet. Fasten your seatbelts. You're gonna get a tour and find out why.
I'm honored to be here with the Beyond Meat founder, president, and CEO, Ethan Brown. Tell us about 4.0.
First of all, it's wonderful to have you. Thank you for all the work you do. It's great to be together again. And I remember you visited 7, 8 years ago, and it's wonderful to have you back in. So it's great.
Dramatically transformed. Yes, I did a tour about 7 or 8 years ago. They were at a different location. It was much smaller. This is massive, and it really speaks to the power of Beyond Meat. Tell us about this newest product that's just come out.
As you know, we've had this issue where we came out of the gate very successful in terms of bringing plant-based meat to a mainstream audience, right? And that generated some resistance from primarily the incumbent industry. And they started to run advertisements and campaigns suggesting there was something wrong with plant-based meat from a health perspective. Now, that never sat right with us because we do so much research. We have a program, a 5-year program with the Stanford School of Medicine and other institutions that are showing how healthful Beyond Meat is in terms of transforming certain disease states. Now, the challenge is we don't have a big megaphone to communicate that message, right? So we said, you know what do we want to do? We're going to allow iron to sharpen iron. I love that phrase that the fiercest winds make the strongest branches. If you're under attack, you can sort of complain about it, or you can just get to work. And we decided we're going to get to work. We have an unassailable argument in terms of, climate and animal welfare and natural resources, all the efficiencies. But if they're going to attack health, we're just going to become healthier. And so what we decided to do was start to renovate our core portfolio. And the Beyond 4 represents over 3 years of work to create the next iteration of Beyond Meat. And we brought in doctors and nutritionists and registered dietitians to help us craft a burger that not only tastes even better than the Beyond 3, but delivers really strong health benefits. And that includes, we dropped the saturated fat by 60%, but we also importantly swapped out the coconut oil for avocado oil. And so avocado oil is a very heart-healthy oil, And so what we're allowing consumers to do now is they can really enjoy this. I eat, multiple burgers when I sit down, right? Because there's no concern, right? It has only 2 grams of saturated fat, which is not a lot in terms of your daily limit. We also brought the sodium levels down, right? So we wanted to make it unassailable. And you know what? We're going to keep going. We're keep making it better. But the important thing to consider is now it's been certified by the American Heart Association in recipes. Right, it has been certified by the American Diabetes Association. It's been certified by the Clean Label Project, and Good Housekeeping gave it this wonderful nutrition award. So we just keep getting better, and that's the point about Beyond Food.
So the point here is that they were attacked viciously. There were some hit pieces written. There was a Bloomberg hit piece and various other hit pieces, never mentioning that processed meat is cancer causing, and talking about processed alternatives that are plant-based as being ultra processed, and just really vicious attacks. Now they've responded by upping their game, coming up with something that's certified by the American Heart Association, but I'm not seeing a lot of articles talking about that.
Right.
So has the damage been done? And is there in this back and forth where we're talking about how close we are to achieving the vegan world, that is the basis for this convergence, where is this battle between the meat industry and alternative proteins?
No, I mean, they are going to fight. Okay, just like they remember, this is an industry that actually demonized a bean, soybeans, okay, which is obviously good for you. You can't say a bean is bad for you. So if they're able to demonize that, they can demonize Beyond Burgers. They'll demonize Beyond Burgers. They'll do whatever it takes to survive, to thrive. But the more they fight, the more they're shining the light generally on the whole picture. And my recommendation to vegans is to act like you have already won. You already won. Okay, there is no question that veganism combined with reforestation is the only way out for humanity. I don't see any other way. From a systems perspective, I don't see any other way. So we have to have a largely vegan world, and we have to rewild most of the planet if we want to survive on this planet, if we want to thrive on this planet. Now, we have to, so when we behave like we have already won, that this is going to happen, then we manifest it. Others will begin to see our confidence. But if we are doubtful and if we say, oh no, are we going to win? Are we going to lose? It's not in our hands. I say it's ultimately the result is not in our hands. We have to act as if we know what we're doing, and we have to keep at it.
And I think a lot of people do, and just do the next indicated thing and stay out of the results, and just do. Certainly do not allow ourselves to become demoralized at all. But it's also important to take a realistic look at the situation so that you can respond appropriately.
Right. You have to sort of pivot.
I was listening to, and stay out of politics, but I was struck the other day by somebody who was talking about the crazy political scene we're having now. And they said, one thing I know about all politicians is they always think they're going to win. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to, and then election day happens and they go, So, it's very important to be unbowed and to persist, as they say. But it's also important to be realistic and respond to real challenges and not self-sabotage by co-signing the opposition's talking points.
Absolutely. Never say anything bad about other vegans, okay?
or alternative proteins.
Right.
Okay, to that end, hopefully I can play this clip. Let's talk a little bit about cell-cultivated meat. I personally am a fan. I know a lot of people are not. And so we really need to kind of dive into that, because a lot of people feel that is the ultimate solution. And dear God, please play already. Oh, man. We're going to have to go through a little something or other here, because it's saying that there's a particular password that I need that I don't really have, but we'll get there. As we do this, I'm going to tell you about this person. He is the head of the Atlantic Fish Co., which is a cell-cultivated fish, which I think is absolutely crucial. We know we're destroying the oceans. We have actually a great documentary, super depressing, unfortunately, on Unchained TV about the destruction of just the killing of a sea near Turkey. And it's, let's see here. Okay, we're just going to hit it and see if it happens. Try to knock it. Okay, share this screen. Here we go. Oh, it's getting there. Okay, boom.
For some reason, your video is frozen, Jane.
No, it's yeah. I apologize.
No problem.
For some reason there's a password here that has not happened. Let's see. Do you see it now?
Yeah, we see.
Okay.
It's sharing something. Yeah.
Opportunity to be here. This is
You hear
great. Appreciate the interest and the opportunity to tell our story. So this dates back to about 5 or 6 years ago. I heard about another company in our industry, then called Memphis Meats, now called Upside Foods, who many folks have probably heard of. And it was a Rolling Stone article, and it was about them making duck. And I thought this was really cool from a climate perspective. That was my initial entry point. I think a lot of folks that are in the alternative protein come at it from different angles, some from animal welfare, some from, preventing pandemics, some from climate. I was definitely in the climate camp. But as I started to learn more about where our meat and seafood comes from, became very personally convicted with it. And that led to the founding of Atlantic Fish Co.
Awesome. Can we go into the differences and the similarities between cell-cultivated fish and wild-caught fish? Like, do you need actual fish to make your products, or do you just need some cells?
You need one fish to start with, because I think it's really critical when people know about cellular agriculture or what we call cultivated meat or seafood, that it is real animal or real meat or seafood, just made in a totally different way. So you do need to start with the original animal. So in our case, we've focused on marine fish species that are overfished in the wild and can't be grown via aquaculture as our entry point. So we are working on black sea bass. We have developed a black sea bass cell line from a real sea bass, but we won't need any more of those as we're able to expand that cell line to ultimately make real seafood, just made in a totally different way with cellular agriculture.
So yeah, I think this is a really important piece of the puzzle. And I've actually had respectful disagreements with people. Many vegans feel that it's not vegan. But, I personally feel in the crisis we're in, we can't quibble. And with the amount of fish that we are decimating our oceans, everybody knows that on this Zoom, so I don't need to elaborate on that. But he's talking about a cell line. He's talking about one fish. Is it a perfect solution? No, but I honestly feel this could be the answer. We all know people who we've talked to for decades. We all have relatives that we've talked to for decades, and they're not changing. So for those people, they're not all going to have a miraculous enlightenment at one moment. The clock's ticking. We're barreling toward a climate apocalypse. Heck yeah. I think cell-cultivated fish and meat and cheese, and I think it's great. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, first of all, when we talk about this as an alternate protein, and the way we are conceding that we need to eat that to get protein, which fundamentally I don't agree, because there's plenty of protein in plant foods, right? So I don't want to promote and continue a lie that we were taught as children, that protein comes from meat or protein comes from fish. Okay? That was a lie that was told to us. And we are trying to tell them, no, there's protein in all plant foods. In fact, all plant foods have all amino acids. And why are they telling us that it doesn't have protein, that there is a separate protein category of food? What in the heck is that? So I think we need to first get our story straight on the protein myth. which underlies our entire, in the enslavement of humanity. This protein myth and the calcium myth.
You're my hero. I respect you. That's why I did Countdown to Year Zero.
Yeah,
But I have to respectfully disagree. Okay, I'm 29 years sober, and I like to have a mocktail. As long as there's no alcohol in there, I enjoy it. I go out to a restaurant and they have they even have bars now that are just mocktails. Right. It doesn't mean that I want to drink or that alcohol is good. It's deadly for me. But are we engaging in magical thinking to think that all these people that we've begged and pleaded with and had arguments with, who are our close personal friends and family members, that they're suddenly going to miraculously change when we can give them something that fulfills that, whether you call it an addiction, a craving, something they've been psychologically conditioned to desire? If we can give them that, why not? That's what I understand what you're saying, but I also feel like we have to accept life on life's terms, and this is what people are.
I understand, but is the objective of creating and investing in this cellular meat, is it to promote the meat industry or to make people change? That I don't understand, because the animal agriculture industry is investing in the cellular meat. And whenever the industry invests in cellular meat, in any other sub-industry, I know it is for their own self-propagation. I look for whether it's for their own self-propagation. And I see the argument happening. Yeah, we first concede that we need to create the cellular meat. And then they say, well, that's cellular meat. Let's eat the real thing. You know what I mean? Because we have conceded that it needs to be eaten. Something like that needs to be eaten. Because there are so many plant-based alternatives to fish or alternatives to meat, like Beyond Burger, which is made with real plants and tastes just the same. They can't even tell the difference between them, right?
Well, that's a good point, because I have the Gardein fish fillets and they're absolutely delicious.
Right.
They're incredible. But there is this school of thought that some people may need their pound of flesh, and I don't pretend to be an expert, but to answer your question or to address your question or observation that the meat industry is investing, let's see if I can play another clip. Hold on a second. Here we go. Okay. I think maybe my mistake is that even though it's saying that I need to get this password, I think I might be able to just share and jump to the actual video and jump on it. But basically what has happened is that, let's see if we can play this here. Are you seeing it?
This is what it looks like to allow yourself.
Can you see it?
No, we're not seeing it.
Okay, hold on. All right.
Fellow.
As we
it's called
work through this, I think that it's a question of how we there we go.
Yeah.
What do you think? Okay, perfect. We'll play this and then we'll discuss.
Laughing.
The reason that we're all here today is because we take responsibility. When you see something that's wrong with the world or with your life or with anything, it's always your responsibility to make a difference. That's what being a leader is. So when it comes to this, when it's like something that happens on a global scale and the responsibility is so diffused, because you're like, yo, we're like 7.6 billion people in the world. So why would I step up to make a difference? And when you have that kind of situation, most people will not take responsibility. The people who do step up and take responsibility, those are the people that will be celebrated as visionaries in the future.
How is it that you have such confidence that we're going to be able to achieve this?
History is full of examples of things that shifted. So I'm saying we have to shift now. So let's work on it. Let's get it done.
Give us some examples of what you think the parallels are.
With the internet, it was, in 8 years, we went from something that nobody really knew to something that everyone thought they absolutely had to have in their life. And it was just 8 years, from 1995 to 2003. I witnessed it happen. Moon landing was also something like that. In 1962, Kennedy, when he made that speech at Rice University in Texas, a lot of people scoffed at him, saying, "You want to put a man on the moon?" But then it inspired Americans. And within 8 years, within 7 years, actually, man was on the moon, right, in 1969. So there again, it was just breaking down the larger problem into smaller pieces and addressing each one of them and putting it together. That's what NASA did.
We are on the right side of history. We're on the ethical side of history. So this is going to be over. And then most people are going to flip when social pressures flip the other way and many people start being vegan and it starts being an actual thing. And people will be like, oh, most people are doing it. I'll do it too. Then people like us, who now a lot of people call us heretics. A lot of people call us crazy, like all this kind of stuff. Then you'll see that in 20, 30 years, you'll have all our friends hitting us up being like, yo, you're visionary. And that's what we're going to get. And that's 100%.
Yeah, it is historic. I do believe one day we'll look back, first of all, on.
So, we'll agree to disagree. I'm going to definitely consider your arguments against cell-based meat. I maintain that I'm for it right now. But those examples that you gave were very, very inspiring. Or as somebody once said to me, it was only a couple of thousand people who stormed the Bastille, right? So, but then on the other hand, recently I was talking about the tipping point in Malcolm Gladwell's book and the discussion of hitting 3.5% of the population. And somebody said, no, it's not 3.5. It's much higher than that to achieve the kind of cultural societal change that you're looking for, which of course made me feel a little bit like, wow, the mountain is even higher to climb. What would you say as a systems analyst and as an engineer about the percentage of the population that we need to hit? And is that global or in leading countries like the United States for this transition to occur?
Well, there are so many studies on that, and basically, I think the idea is 3.5% is true for if 3.5% of the people really believe in something, then and they stick to it, eventually the rest of society comes along. How fast they come along depends on lots of other factors. So it's who knows? Right, how this happens. Maybe the Bollywood movie will do it. I don't know. I just see all these opportunities come our way and I grab at anything that comes my way and keep at it.
But as a systems analyst, when you were accelerating internet speeds, you had a way to gauge your progress.
Right.
Are you saying in this endeavor that there is no way for us to gauge our progress? That it's a crapshoot, it's a lot of
because it's an entirely new system transformation. So you're coming from a system that's built around war, built around death, disease, and destruction, from domination and deception, to a new system based on honesty, humility. Now, that system transformation is something that's very hard to predict when you're going to make that happen, because people have to change their minds, the cultures have to change. So it's really people have to give up on this and saying, this is impossible for us to fix. Now let's see what else can we do. Right?
Play devil's advocate, we're running against the clock.
Yeah.
Sir David Attenborough has said, there's 9 boundaries, maybe 10 now, somebody's talking about, and we've already been breaking through
You've broken through 6 of them.
6 of them.
Yeah. 6 of them. So there are 6 fires on the planet, and those fires are saying each fire can kill you. If you leave it there, it's going to kill you. Any one of those 6, right? So we know that. People know that. Scientists know that. And yet, there are scientists who say, I cannot say this, that going vegan can solve all 6 of them. Can solve all 6 of them. And yet you're not talking about it? When will they talk about it? I don't know. I don't know when they'll...
Are you enthused? And because I want to take questions and I see hands raised.
Yeah.
Are you enthused by the fact that Jeff Bezos has reportedly given $100 million to alternative proteins, which I assume will include some cell-based meat, Dr. Rao?
Yeah. No, I see that as a way for Jeff Bezos to put an investment down to propagate the protein myth. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, you know what? That's the great thing. And I want to say something else. You
Yeah.
and I are respectfully disagreeing about a subject.
Right.
We're not all going to be in agreement about every last issue.
Absolutely.
Please. I just feel like infighting in our movement has gotten very toxic, and it's very self-destructive. And I would urge everybody not to participate in it. We have on our guidelines, on our nonprofit guidelines, which are right on our website. If you have a problem with somebody or an organization, call a lawyer, call the police, leave us out of it. Obviously, there's exceptions. If somebody said, there's a breaking news, there's a life at risk, we call the police. But the point is that we have to find our commonalities, and we really have to stop infighting. We just have to show some restraint, because it's feeding into the opposition's game plan.
Yeah.
It's not helping. So we've only got 9 minutes. Should we take some questions? How about Paige? She's
Paige, and then Liz is next.
Okay, great.
Hello. Hi, Jane. Okay. Hi. I just, we always have new listeners and viewers coming on board, and I think a lot of people are really interested in plant-based. How can people contribute to Unchained TV and get involved if they have a video, or become a member, those kinds of things? I just thought I would bring that forward.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. Unchained TV is a 501c3 nonprofit. We are mostly volunteer run. I don't take a salary. This is a labor of love. And we do have some very exciting developments. We've just started some fast channels. So we're on some new platforms, True TV Plus, and a couple of others, and we're adding them on as we go. That gives us another audience. It's free advertiser-based television, but we're giving out our content to try to get more eyeballs, and that's an exciting development. We also just yesterday got somebody who's offering us a match. So we already have one match for every monthly donor, and I'm going to put it in the chat, or maybe you can put it in the chat page, unchainedtv.com/donate. Just put in the chat right now. You click on that, and we just got another. So for every $10 monthly donor, we already have a $100 match. Now we have a second $100 match. So $200 will be donated for every $10 a month. So that's 2 cups of coffee, maybe even 1 cup of coffee in today's world. And we're also expanding to terrestrial radio. So our show, our weekly video podcast is not only on all the, Amazon Music and Spotify, iTunes, etc., but we're also on coast to coast terrestrial radio on AM radio stations. So that's an exciting development. What we're doing is trying to reach people across all platforms. So we have the streaming network, and we're on a Roku device, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV device, all Samsung TVs, Apple TV device, Samsung TV, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, all cell phones, Android and iPhone, as well as the web at unchainedtv.com. And let's see if we can switch it out one more time we don't need audio here. So let's just switch that out and show you what we're doing here. Fabulous. There's our homepage. You can see that on the very top, you can watch the fast channel that's playing right there. And there's all of the apps that we're available on. And you can jump right into see what's streaming and take a look at some of our almost 2,000 videos. We also do articles. We're putting out several news articles a week. And so that is bringing traffic to our website. We had 80,000 visitors this past 30 days to our website. So, we're cooking on all cylinders. We have wonderful volunteers like Paige Parsons-Roach, who has a show on Unchained TV called PlantBased in the Burbs. And we're going to be coming out with our new show, At Home with the Jenners. We had 3 teaser episodes, and we're going to be coming out with more episodes on that. Brandon Jenner and his wife, Kaylee Jenner, are raising their kids vegan. They're vegan, and they're proud of it. So they let us into their Malibu home. to show their life and how they're embracing the plant-based lifestyle. So there you go. Unchained TV /donate. Monthly donor, $5 a month, $10 a month. We got matches. It doesn't belong to me. This is something that's been created as part of a nonprofit, and it belongs to the entire vegan community. Take advantage of it. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Jane. Always a pleasure.
Right back at you, Paige. Who is CHQ and Liz?
Liz.
Oh, Liz.
She handles all the question and answers for us. Thank you.
Well, hi, Jane. It's good to see you. I'm still doing my outreach and I'm filling our public libraries locally, bragging about both of you and the wonderful work that you're doing. So it's happening. And this next generation is so ready to go. You guys, this whole movement, I'm a sailor. This movement reminds me of taking a ship by the helm and having to stir and change the course. And if 2026 rolls by and we have not yet seen the change that we want, we know we've taken the helm. We know that the course is changing. So we're headed that way. And the scary thought every day watching the world around us is it too late? So we do have to keep doing everything we can. There's no easy answer. I'm with you, Jane, on the cell-based meat for this reason. When I walk into a pet food store, I am blown away. All of that meat product. I go to look for vegan dog food for my dog, and there's like one choice out of an entire warehouse. So my dog, I feed him mostly vegan, all right? But other family members are slipping him the meat and everything, and he's an omnivore. So cats are carnivores. What do we do with our pets? I think cell-based meat is such a fantastic answer for our omnivore and carnivore pets. And you know, if it
I agree. I mean, my dogs are vegan, but you know, there's a whole debate about whether cats can be vegan. And well, what are your thoughts on that, Dr. Rao? Do you get does cell-based cultivated meat get a pass on that regard?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a tiger as a pet or something like that, you know, you really need to give, right? But I mean, our cats on what is that? Evolution cat food seems to be thriving on it. And both our dogs were on B-Dog, thanks to Linda Middlesworth and David Middlesworth. They really saved our dogs because our dog had arthritis, and that's why I put him on vegan food. And his arthritis disappeared.
Yeah, there's just like the twin experiment, they've been doing studies, similar studies for dogs, and they say they thrive better on a vegan diet. Thank you, my dear. You are amazing. Love your hat.
Yeah.
Can we hit the next two? Because we've only got literally 2 minutes. So
right. Yeah, Shankar and Dakota.
I'll be quick. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Hey, Jane, meeting after 2019, met you in Arizona. All had a nice time at the Vegan World Conference. I just want, as a traveler, almost global traveler, so whenever I go, I don't have any discomfort about vegan food anywhere. Everybody understands it, be it the flight or the connection airport or any destination that I go, there is always, even in remote corners, people do understand what is vegan. And here, for example, in Ocean City, Maryland, I attended a government event. Oh my God, by default, all the desserts were vegan. So they understood if you make this, you can almost make appeal to more people. I mean, I would say even if you make it gluten-free or nut-free, you can still help a lot of people. So they do understand the concept is about economically simple. So when you're simple, you could address for a lot of people. So there is always, and my most favorite thing, I'll stress this 1,000 times, is called habitual vegan. Most of the time, you don't even have to tell anyone that you're vegan. A lot of items are by default vegan. Just keep it, don't talk about it, consume it, move forward.
I think you need to respectfully disagree. I love to disagree with people, by the way.
Please.
It's my
please,
hobby.
No issues.
But
no issues.
I think you do the vegan food and you talk about it. That's how you spread the word. So I actually respectfully, and I love you and I admire you, think that if we take every vegan and turn them into an activist, that's when we're going to hit the tipping point. So I say talk. not necessarily belligerently, but
Right.
yeah, definitely passive. Okay, it's 5
Thank
o'clock. I don't want to cheat Dakota, but I know we got to go.
Yeah. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Love you. Love everybody on this.
Love you too.
Yeah.